Alright, so I'm going to be showing you how to install the Saurom ROM on your AT&T Samsung Galaxy Note 2. So the first thing you're going to want to do is reboot into recovery. And then you don't have to wipe anything if this is your first time installing this ROM. You're just going to want to go to install, locate the zip. For me it's the true hybrid, or the hybrid zip right here. And if you're on clockwork mod, you need to flash twerp for this to be able to work properly. That's what they say in the install instructions, so that's why I'm using twerp. It will load up a ROM installer. You're just going to want to follow the steps. Now if this is your first time installing it, you're going to need to go to the factory set. And then we're going to go on to continue. And then it gives you a list of the options that you want included in the ROM, and also the ones that you don't, which is a pretty nice feature. So as you see right here, we can show change logs, we can choose our social. I'm going to go with Google Plus. For internet, I'm going to go with Chrome. For multimedia, go with the all share. I'm going to go with the photo editor just because it's just a feature of the Galaxy Note 2. And for productivity, we have Dropbox, which I use a lot, Google Drive, Google Mail. We have Polaris Office, I don't use that at all. Samsung Apps, Samsung Hubs, don't use. S-Voice, it's just kind of one of those things that it's not really all that great, but you can still use it. And also we have Samsung Hubs. We have Samsung TTS engine, not sure what that is. I want the live wallpapers, Samsung widgets, and I already have most of those useful apps backed up on my phone, so I'm going to click next. I want the TouchWiz launcher. I bought Nova Launcher Prime a while ago. We can go with the install the exposed mods. I'm on AT&T, so I'm going to skip that CSC stuff. I don't want Force Tablet UI, so I'm going to go with the hybrid stock system UI. Now you can change this, like after you flash this ROM, I'll show you how to come back and change that to the tablet UI. And we also have enable volume wake and enable call recording. It's kind of a neat feature. I'm going to go with English because I speak English. And then I'm going to go to next to install this. And it's going to take a minute or two to install this ROM. And we are just now finishing up. So I'm going to go to finish. And it says, do you want to reboot the phone? You're going to want to select no, because this ROM installer did not install the kernel that we need in order to actually boot up our phone. So if you try to reboot now, your phone is just going to stay on a black screen. So what we're going to want to do is go back to the install, go back to that zip file, and it's going to boot up the ROM installer again, but this time we're going to want to choose the flash kernel only. I don't know why they didn't have this in the where you actually install the ROM. It's kind of pointless in my opinion, but it works, I guess. But most aren't going to know to go back and actually flash the kernel after they flash the ROM, so they're going to be thinking that they're stuck in a boot loop, and yeah. So if you don't go back and flash the kernel, you're going to get past this and it's going to go to a black screen, and it's just going to sit there for like 5 minutes. I know this from experience. Sorry, I tried flashing this before so I could try it out before doing the install video. Alright, so I kind of went and skipped through the installation process of like where I had to sign into my accounts and stuff like that, so you guys wouldn't have to see it. And we're going to try to sign in again. I'm not going to restore from my Google account. I'm just going to skip that. Going to select sure. And this boots us into the stock TouchWiz launcher. If you went with Nova, it'll boot you into Nova launcher. So you see, first off, it is pretty fast. It looks kind of like Jedi ROM actually. So let's go into the app drawer. I hate those little info messages. And we do have Advanced S. That allows us to control how many toggles and what toggles we have. We have the all share that I selected to install. So let's go to the advances. We can choose the widget buttons that we want. A long list of widget buttons. And we can also change their order. Go over to other. This is saying we're on Android 4.1.1. Kind of curious as to why, since 4.1.2 is the latest for this phone. We also have our multi-window control so that we can add any application to the multi-window. We can add any application to this, which is pretty nice. Let's go back. And we have pretty much all the stock Samsung, Google apps. And if we go over here, we still have all of our Google stuff. Let's check out S-Tweaks. Now this is my first time actually going through the ROM. So here we can control our CPU. Set a maximum up to 1800 megahertz or 1.8 gigahertz. We can mess with our CPU scaling. We can mess with our CPU hot plug, our GPU. How far can we? So we can overclock to 800 megahertz. I don't really recommend going that high unless you're going to be doing a lot of gaming. You can mess with your audio, and also you can reset to default in case you mess something up. Have our exposed tweaks. So if we go to status bar, we can choose how many bars. See how there's 4 in the signal strength. We can change that all the way up to 6 bars, which is kind of nice. I don't know why you would do that, but I guess if you want to know how well your signal strength is. You can mess with the CRT effect, which I didn't see it right there actually. Leave us alone, Samsung. Leave us alone. So let's unlock. And we can also change our orientation. You can mess with your battery. I don't really know why. And then mess with your phone. So this is where we can have our call recording if we wanted to. Go into miscellaneous. We have on our turn on screen when unplugging. I guess if you're unplugging your phone from the charger, the screen will turn on. And we have our experimental. So that's if you choose the tablet UI. So that's kind of nice. And then we have some of our exposed. I'm not really going to go too far into those, but if we go down to about device, we see we are running on Android 4.1.1, which is kind of disappointing. I mean, 4.1.2 has been out for a little bit now, so I was kind of hoping to see that, but let's go back into our recovery, and I'm going to show you how to enable the tablet UI. Alright, so now that we are back into recovery, we're going to go to the install, and we're going to go back to the hybrid zip. We're going to swipe to flash it again. Now, if you have all your apps reinstalled and everything, you can still do this. This isn't going to wipe your device. And we're going to click OK. Now, what you're going to want to do is customize ROM. And we can just skip all these because we already have those installed. And we're going to go down to Force Tablet UI, which is the one where I chose the hybrid stock. But now we can choose the Force Tablet UI. So we're going to go to Next. We don't need to select anything else. We're just going to install this. So it's pretty quick. It don't take that long. And we're going to go to Finish and click Yes. Now this should reboot our phone. And once we boot up, we should be in the tablet UI for Samsung, which, judging by these screenshots, it's actually pretty nice. Now this is going to have to wipe the cache, and there's about 200 or so applications installed. So the boot up is going to take a minute or two. So you see Android is upgrading, so I'll be back when these are all finished. Alright, and we are booted up, and right away you can notice everything is much smaller. So we can still unlock. You get a compatibility notice. And now we have the on-screen buttons for back, home, recent, and screenshot. It's kind of different. We still have our custom buttons, our toggles. You can still access those. And everything is pretty much the same. Like if you go into internet, it's not in the tablet UI, but what you can do is go to the market and download a DPI changer. It is a rooted app, but you know, this is rooted, and that will allow you to change your DPI settings so you can change them to whatever you want. I won't be showing you that because this is just the install video, But look for those in the full review, and I'll be showing you how to use the DPI app in order to change your DPI. Stands for density per inch. So just a little heads up. And also, so if we go into settings now, you'll see everything just looks bunched together. So that's why you have to change the DPI. Now these hardware buttons still work, but you have the on-screen buttons. I don't see why you'd really use those. But this was my quick how to install a Saurom ROM on your AT&T Galaxy Note 2. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see any more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to my channel.